Most people think their money problem is that they do not know enough about investing. But for many people, the real problem starts much earlier. It starts before stocks, before real estate, before retirement accounts, before passive income, before any complicated strategy. It starts with one simple truth. If your money disappears before it has a chance to work for you, no investment strategy can save you. A person can watch finance videos every night, learn about index funds, study compound interest, follow market news, download investment apps, and still stay broke if their everyday life consumes everything they earn. This is why so many people feel motivated for a few days after learning about money, then fall back into the same pattern. They are not lazy. They are not stupid. They are trying to build wealth on top of a financial life that has no room. And when there is no room, every good intention gets crushed by the next bill, the next payment, the next emergency, the next impulse, or the next normal expense. The uncomfortable truth is that wealth does not begin when you find the perfect investment. Wealth begins when you stop letting every dollar leave automatically. Before money can grow, it has to stay. Before it can compound, it has to survive your habits. Before it can become freedom, it has to escape the system of spending, payments, expectations, and convenience that is already waiting for it. Most people want the exciting part of money. They want the investment return, the big opportunity, the shortcut, the asset that changes everything. But the boring part comes first. The boring part is keeping a gap between what comes in and what goes out. The boring part is lowering the amount your life demands every month. The boring part is saying no to some things you can technically afford. The boring part is building cash reserves before chasing higher returns. And because this part is boring, people skip it. They think they can earn their way around it. They think a raise will fix it. They think a better job will fix it. They think a side hustle will fix it. They think the next investment will fix it. But if the underlying pattern does not change, more income simply gives the same habits more money to spend. A raise becomes a lifestyle upgrade. A bonus becomes a purchase. A side hustle becomes relief from overspending instead of a path to freedom. The problem is not that making more money is bad. More income is powerful. But more income without a system often becomes more consumption. It creates the feeling of progress without creating real financial strength. This is why the first rule of wealth is not make as much as possible. The first rule is keep enough of what you make. If you cannot keep money at a lower income, you may struggle to keep it at a higher income because the habit of spending expands with the habit of earning. The numbers get bigger, but the pattern stays the same. Bigger paycheck, bigger apartment. Bigger paycheck, newer car. Bigger paycheck, nicer restaurants. Bigger paycheck, more subscriptions. Bigger paycheck, more generous gifts, better trips, higher expectations, and more expensive problems. Soon, the new income feels normal, and the old pressure returns. This is why financial freedom is not only an income problem, it is a retention problem. How much of your money stays under your control after the world is done making claims on it? That question reveals more than your salary does. Your salary tells people how much enters your life. Your retained money tells you how much power actually remains. If you earn $5,000 and keep nothing, your financial life has no foundation. If you earn $4,000 and keep $800, you are quietly building strength. The person with the higher income may look more successful, but the person who keeps money is the one creating future choices. This is where many people get trapped by appearance. They assume wealth is visible. They assume the nicer car, the nicer home, the nicer clothes, the better vacation, and the more expensive lifestyle means someone is winning. But visible wealth can be rented. It can be financed. It can be borrowed. It can be paid for with stress. Invisible wealth is different. Invisible wealth is the money you did not spend. It is the payment you avoided. It is the emergency fund you built. It is the investment that nobody sees. It is the low fixed cost that lets you breathe. It is the ability to wait. It is the ability to leave. It is the ability to take a risk without destroying your life. The financial world often rewards visible wealth with attention, but real life rewards invisible wealth with freedom. The problem is that invisible wealth feels less satisfying in the beginning. Buying something gives an immediate feeling. Saving money often gives no applause. Paying down debt may feel slow. Investing may feel abstract. Keeping cash may feel boring. But the boring choices are the ones that create the strongest foundation. The exciting choices often create new obligations. That is why the order matters. If you try to buy the feeling of success before building the structure of success, your lifestyle becomes heavier than your wealth. You may have the symbols but not the stability. You may have the image but not the options. You may have comfort but not resilience. And comfort without resilience is fragile. A nice life that depends on perfect income is not freedom. It is pressure with better lighting. Real wealth has a different feeling. It feels like space. It feels like not needing every month to go perfectly. It feels like not being scared by a repair bill. It feels like being able to say no to a bad deal. It feels like being able to delay a purchase without feeling deprived. It feels like having money that is not already promised to someone else. That feeling comes from retained money. And retained money comes from a system. Not motivation, not guilt, not shame, not pretending you will suddenly become a different person next month. A system. Because your financial life is not shaped by what you believe once in a while. It is shaped by what happens automatically every day. If spending is automatic and saving is optional, spending will usually win. If bills are automatic and investing requires willpower, bills will usually win. If convenience is one tap away and your goals are vague, convenience will usually win. The modern economy is built to turn your money into automatic revenue for someone else. Subscriptions renew automatically, payments withdraw automatically, apps remember your card automatically, delivery is automatic. Shopping suggestions are automatic. Credit offers are automatic. The easier money is to spend, the harder it is to keep. So if you want to build wealth, you need to make keeping money automatic too. Pay yourself first is not a cute phrase. It is a defense system. It means money moves toward your future before your habits can negotiate with it. It means savings and investments happen before the month gets noisy. It means your goals do not have to fight every restaurant, every app, every sale, every mood, and every tired decision. If you wait to save what is left over, there may be nothing left over. Not because you planned badly, but because money without a job gets recruited by comfort. This is why you need to assign money before the world assigns it for you. Some money should pay bills. Some money should buy joy. Some money should protect you. Some money should grow. Some money should remain flexible. The mistake is letting every dollar become lifestyle by default. Lifestyle is hungry. It can absorb almost any income if you let it. There is always a better version of what you already have. Better housing, better food, better clothes, better car, better phone, better service, better convenience, better experiences. None of these are wrong by themselves. The danger is that better never ends. If every improvement becomes your new baseline, your financial life will always feel tight. That is why wealth requires boundaries. You need to decide which upgrades actually matter and which ones are just noise. You need to decide which categories deserve more money and which categories should stay stable even as your income grows. You need to decide what enough means before advertising, comparison, and stress decide for you. Without boundaries, your income becomes a river flowing through someone else's business model. It enters your account, touches your life for a moment, and leaves. To change that, you do not need to hate spending. You need to make spending compete with freedom. Every purchase should be compared not only to the money in your account, but to the freedom that money could have created. This does not mean you should never spend. It means you should know what you are trading. $100 can buy a dinner, or it can become part of an emergency fund. $500 can buy an upgrade, or it can reduce a debt payment. $1,000 can disappear into a weekend, or it can become the beginning of an investment habit. Sometimes the dinner is worth it. Sometimes the upgrade is worth it. Sometimes the weekend is worth it. But it should be a choice, not a leak. A leak is money leaving without real approval. A choice is money leaving because it supports the life you actually want. Most people do not have a spending problem in the dramatic sense. They have a leaking problem. A little money leaks through convenience. A little leaks through subscriptions. A little leaks through emotional spending. A little leaks through poor planning. A little leaks through fees and interest. A little leaks through upgrades they forgot they chose. Each leak looks small, but together they prevent money from becoming power. And when money never becomes power, people feel stuck. They feel like they are working hard but not moving. They feel like income arrives and disappears. They feel like financial freedom is always in the future. The first step is not to judge yourself. The first step is to see the leaks clearly. Look at the last 30 days. Not the budget you imagined, but the money that actually left. Every transaction tells a story. Some transactions tell the story of survival. Some tell the story of joy. Some tell the story of stress. Some tell the story of boredom. Some tell the story of convenience. Some tell the story of avoidance. If you study your spending without shame, you can see what your money has been trying to solve. Maybe you are not overspending because you are careless. Maybe you are exhausted. Maybe your schedule is too chaotic. Maybe your environment makes cheap choices difficult. Maybe you use purchases to feel control. Maybe you say yes to others because you are afraid of looking selfish. Maybe you upgrade because you are trying to prove progress to yourself. Understanding this matters because a money problem often has an emotional engine. If you only cut expenses without understanding the engine, the spending comes back in another form. But if you understand the engine, you can build a better system. If tired spending is the issue, you need simpler routines. If comparison is the issue, you need fewer triggers. If subscriptions are the issue, you need automatic audits. If debt is the issue, you need a payoff plan and fewer new promises. If impulse spending is the issue, you need friction before checkout. The goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to make the better decision easier and the expensive automatic decision harder. Small friction can protect a lot of money. Remove saved cards. Wait 48 hours before non-essential purchases. Put subscriptions on a calendar. Separate bill money from spending money. Move savings immediately after payday. Use one account for fixed costs and another for flexible spending. These are not glamorous strategies, but they work because they respect human behavior. A good financial system does not depend on you being perfectly disciplined every day. It helps you when you are tired, stressed, busy, or emotional. That is what a system is for. It protects future you from present you's weakest moments. And the more your system protects money, the more money stays. The more money stays, the more options you have. The more options you have, the less desperate you feel. The less desperate you feel, the better decisions you make. This is the quiet cycle that creates wealth. It is not always fast. It is not always exciting, but it compounds. First, you keep a little money. Then you build a small emergency fund. Then a surprise bill stops becoming a crisis. Then you avoid new debt. Then you pay off an old payment. Then your monthly life gets lighter. Then the money that used to go to payments can go to savings or investing. Then your confidence grows. Then you stop needing every paycheck to rescue you. Then opportunities feel less scary. Then your life begins to widen. This is how wealth often starts, not with a huge breakthrough, but with money no longer escaping. People underestimate how powerful it is to remove a payment. Paying off a car, a credit card, a personal loan, or a recurring obligation can feel like giving yourself a raise because it reduces the amount your life demands every month. A $500 payment removed is $500 of monthly power returned to you. That is $6,000 a year that no longer has to leave automatically. And more importantly, it is less pressure. Less pressure means more choice. More choice means more freedom. This is why debt can be so emotionally heavy. It is not only interest. It is not only the balance. It is the feeling that future income already belongs to the past. Debt can make you feel like you are working today to pay for yesterday. Sometimes debt is unavoidable. Sometimes it is strategic. Sometimes it helped you survive. But debt that funds lifestyle can quietly steal tomorrow's flexibility. That is why the goal is not to shame debt. The goal is to stop creating new debt for things that do not strengthen your life. If a purchase does not increase your safety, skills, income, health, or long-term quality of life, be very careful before turning it into a future payment. Future payments are easy to agree to and hard to escape from. They make life feel affordable while making freedom more expensive. The same is true for fixed costs. Fixed costs are powerful because they repeat without asking your permission again. Rent repeats, car payments repeat, insurance repeats, subscriptions repeat, minimum payments repeat. The more fixed costs you carry, the less flexible your life becomes. Flexible spending can be adjusted. Fixed spending becomes the floor. If the floor is too high, you are forced to keep earning at a certain level just to stand still. This is why people with high fixed costs often feel trapped even with good income. They are not free to slow down. They are not free to take a lower-paying opportunity. They are not free to experiment. They are not free to rest. Their life has a high monthly minimum. Lowering that minimum can be more powerful than chasing another upgrade. It gives every dollar more space. It makes your current income stronger. It makes bad months less dangerous. It makes good months more productive. This is the foundation most people skip because it does not look impressive. But financial freedom is built on foundations that do not look impressive. Emergency funds do not look impressive. Low fixed costs do not look impressive. Automatic investing does not look impressive. A used car paid off in full may not look impressive. A smaller apartment may not look impressive. Cooking at home may not look impressive. Saying no may not look impressive, but these choices can create a life that feels dramatically better from the inside. You may not get applause, but you get peace. You may not look richer, but you become harder to break. That is a better trade than most people realize. The deeper issue is that many people are not actually trying to become wealthy. They are trying to stop feeling behind. And when the goal is to stop feeling behind, spending becomes very tempting. You can buy something today and feel caught up for a moment. You can upgrade and feel successful for a moment. You can match the people around you and feel normal for a moment. But if the purchase does not build real strength, the feeling fades and the cost remains. Then you need another purchase, another upgrade, another sign that you are doing okay. This is how spending becomes emotional maintenance. You are not buying the item, you are buying temporary relief from comparison, insecurity, or exhaustion. The problem is that temporary relief can become a permanent expense. That is why financial maturity requires a different definition of success. Success is not proving you can buy everything your income allows. Success is building a life where your income creates options. Success is not maximizing comfort today. Success is creating comfort that does not weaken tomorrow. Success is not having the most impressive lifestyle in the room. Success is having a life that can handle reality. Reality includes surprise bills, job changes, health problems, family needs, market downturns, and seasons where motivation is low. A fragile lifestyle hates reality. A strong financial life expects reality. It leaves room. It prepares quietly. It does not spend every dollar pretending nothing will ever go wrong. This is why cash matters. Cash may not feel exciting when markets are rising. It may feel inefficient, but cash buys stability. Cash gives you time to think. Cash prevents small problems from becoming expensive debt. Cash lets you make decisions from strength instead of panic. The point is not to keep all your money in cash forever. The point is to have enough liquidity that life cannot push you into bad choices immediately. After that, investing matters. But investing works best when it sits on top of stability. If you invest without any cushion, you may be forced to sell at the worst time. If you chase returns while carrying expensive debt, the math may work against you. If you invest while your spending is uncontrolled, you may constantly interrupt your own progress. The foundation is not separate from investing. It is what allows investing to continue. Consistency beats intensity. A person who invests a small amount every month for years may outperform someone who waits for the perfect moment, makes one dramatic move, and quits when life gets hard. Wealth likes repetition. It likes automatic behavior. It likes patience. It likes boring contributions made during ordinary months. But consistency requires room. That is why the real question is not, what is the best investment? The real question is, how do I create enough room to invest consistently without destroying my peace? For most people, the answer is not dramatic. It is lower fixed costs, fewer leaks, automatic savings, less debt, and a lifestyle that does not expand at the same speed as income. Once those pieces are in place, investing becomes much easier. Not because you suddenly became a genius, but because your money finally has space to stay and grow. The goal is to move from a pass-through financial life to an ownership financial life. In a pass-through life, money comes in and immediately belongs to bills, lenders, subscriptions, habits, and expectations. In an ownership life, more money remains under your command. You decide where it goes. You decide what it builds. You decide when to spend and when to wait. You decide which comforts are worth it and which ones are traps. This shift changes how money feels. Money stops being only something you chase. It becomes something you direct. It becomes a tool for stability, freedom, and future opportunity. But you cannot direct money you never keep. So start there. Keep something, even if it is small. Keep it consistently. Protect it from impulse. Protect it from lifestyle inflation. Protect it from the feeling that every extra dollar must become proof of progress. Let retained money become part of your identity. Become the kind of person who does not need to spend every available dollar to feel alive. Become the kind of person who can hold money without rushing to convert it into comfort. Become the kind of person who sees unused money as power, not deprivation. This is not about being cheap. It is about being free. Cheapness asks, how can I spend the least? Freedom asks, how can I make sure my money serves my life instead of controlling it? Sometimes freedom spends more on quality, health, safety, or time. Sometimes freedom spends less because the purchase is only status. Sometimes freedom waits. Sometimes freedom says no. Sometimes freedom buys the thing because it genuinely matters. The difference is intention. When you are intentional, money choices become clearer. You stop asking only, can I afford it? You start asking, does this help me keep money, grow money, protect money, or enjoy money without weakening my future? That question is powerful because it includes both life and discipline. You are allowed to enjoy money. You are also responsible for protecting future you. The balance is where wealth grows. If you only enjoy money and never protect it, you may have memories but no stability. If you only protect money and never enjoy it, you may build wealth but feel resentful. The goal is not extreme restriction. The goal is a life where spending and saving both have a purpose. Spend on what truly improves your life. Cut what only maintains an image. Save before the month gets loud. Invest before lifestyle absorbs everything. Keep fixed costs low enough that your income has room to breathe. Pay off debts that keep your future trapped. Build cash so emergencies lose their power. And remember that the first sign of wealth may not be a bigger house, a better car, or a more impressive vacation. The first sign may be something quieter. You are less scared. Less scared of bills. Less scared of job changes. Less scared of emergencies. Less scared of other people's opinions. Less scared of waiting. Less scared of saying no. That is what happens when money stays long enough to become strength. So before you search for the next big financial strategy, ask yourself a simpler question. How much of my money actually remains mine after the month is over? If the answer is nothing, do not shame yourself. Start building the gap. If the answer is small, protect it. If the answer is growing, keep going. That gap is not just savings. It is the beginning of freedom. It is the space where debt gets paid, investments begin, emergencies become manageable, and future choices are born. Because the truth is, you do not become wealthy only by making money. You become wealthy by keeping money, directing money, and letting money work for you long enough to change your life.